What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So I want to go ahead and continue with my top 15 professional basketball shooting guards of all time. All right. So just to do a brief recap. At number 15, I had Tracy McGrady. Number 14, I had Vince Carter. Number 13, Klay Thompson. Number 12, Reggie Miller. And at number 11, I have Ray Allen. All right. I think Ray Allen and Reggie Miller are often compared to one another. I believe both of them played 18 seasons, I think. I think they both played 18 seasons. And, yeah, they both played 18 seasons. Similar numbers, though. You could argue Ray Allen was a slightly better passer, slightly better rebounder. Of the two, Ray Allen was definitely the better athlete. I mean, I think younger people kind of remember Celtics and, LeBron fans definitely Miami Ray Allen. He was a jump shooter. But Milwaukee, Seattle, especially Milwaukee, Ray Allen used to take it to the rack. There's a dunk that you can find on YouTube where he dunked on Tracy McGrady. Yeah, Ray was a shooter. He always been able to shoot. He just expanded his range as his career progressed and became an even better outside shooter. But initially, yeah, he could take it to the rack, and he could also create his own shot. Considerably better than Reggie Miller. And he was a better athlete. Defensively, neither one of them were anything special. They weren't awful. I would say they were average, maybe. Though Reggie probably put a little bit more effort into defense, I would say. But this is about Ray Allen. Ray Allen was like Reggie Miller was to his generation. Ray Allen was the greatest shooter of his generation. And when he retired in 2014, he was the all-time leader in three-pointers made with 2,973. I believe from 2011 until I believe it was 2021, I think it was. Was it December 2021? When Steph Curry passed Ray. Let me make sure that. Yeah, it was December of 2021. So for about 10 years, Ray Allen was the all-time leader in three-pointers made. As a matter of fact, I was rather surprised that Ray didn't come back for another season. Maybe because, I'm a stats guy. It kind of always annoyed me that, A, he was only 27 threes away from 3,000, and B, he was less than 500 points away from 25,000. But, not everybody compares. Not everybody cares about stats and numbers like everyone else. You know what I'm saying? But for his career, Ray Allen averaged 18. Give me 1 second. I think it's 18.9 points per game. Yeah, he played in 1,300 games across 18 seasons. Averaged 18.9 points. 4.1 rebounds, and 3.4 assists. He shot 45.2% from the floor for his career. And before people throw a hissy fit, you got to remember, Ray Allen played his entire career in a much more defensive-friendly era from 1996 to 2014. Much more defensive-friendly era. And, Ray shot the three ball a lot for his era, but not compared to guys today. Like Reggie probably took at his height on average 3 to 4 3-point attempt shots per game, 3 to 4, which was a considerable amount back in the 90s, early 2000s. Ray probably took about 5 to 6 on average, which was a lot in the 2000s. The most he ever took in a season was 8.4, the 2005-2006 season, when he averaged 25.1 points per game. And I believe that's also the year when he set the then record of 269 made three-pointers, which broke the record that had been established a decade prior by Dennis Scott during the 1995-96 season with the Orlando Magic. So 45.2% shooting. That's good for his era. I don't want to make a comparison and guesstimate what he would shoot today, but it'd be higher than that. He shot 40% for his career, which is a little higher than Reggie Miller's 39.5%. And from the charity stripe for his career, he shot 89.4% from the charity stripe, which is it's a tick higher than Reggie Miller's 88.8%. And Ray Allen, despite being a marksman from the line, never actually led the NBA in free throw percentage, though he did have, to my count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different seasons shooting over 90% from the foul line. Matter of fact, one year, 2008-2009, he shot 95.2% from the arc. From the charity stripe, and that didn't lead the NBA. So, trying to look at some of his numbers. From 1997 to 2007, Ray Allen averaged 22.4 points, 4.7 rebounds, 4.1 assists, 1.3 steals, 44.7% shooting from the floor, 39.7% from beyond the arc, and 89.3% from the foul line. So those were his best years statistically. When you look at Ray Allen's resume, it's a little bit more impressive than Reggie's. And that's why I had to rank him higher. Two-time NBA champion, of course. Reggie Miller never won a championship. 10-time NBA All-Star, more All-Star selections than Reggie. All-NBA second team, All-NBA third team. He won the NBA Sportsmanship Award during the 2002-03 season. He won the three-point contest back in 2001. Amazingly, Reggie Miller, I don't believe, ever won a three-point contest. He was on the NBA All-Rookie second team, 1996-97. 75th anniversary team, of course, recently. One of the 75 greatest. UPI Player of the Year in 1996, Consensus First Team All-American 1996, Big East Player of the Year 1996, two-time First Team All-Big East 95 and 96, USA Basketball Male Athlete of the Year 1995. His number 34, is retired by the UConn Huskies, and he was Mr. Basketball in South Carolina in 1993. For his career, his cumulative numbers: 24,505 points, 5,272 rebounds, 4,361 assists, and Ray Allen won Olympic gold in Sydney in 2000. Now, memory serves me correctly, he was born in California, but he kind of moved around. His father was in the Air Force, so therefore he never really stayed in one place too often. He never made one place his home for too often as a kid, and I think that had an effect on him as an adult when you look at his NBA career. even though he spent time in Milwaukee and probably loved it there, he spent time in Seattle. Of course, won a championship ring in Boston. But I think with him, it was a business. He could be friendly with people, but it was a business thing with him as far as dealing with organizations. Whereas some other players, they took pride in playing for an organization, blah, 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 blah. So when Ray Allen left in free agency from Boston, I think, obviously, from what we hear, that caused the friction between him, Paul Pierce a little bit, but especially Kevin Garnett and Rajon Rondo, to the point where they were beefing for about a decade. And I think only recently did they squash the beef. And it was ridiculous. And the reason why I think it was ridiculous is I don't know how many times I heard Ray Allen's name come up in trade talks or potential trades. So it's okay for the organization to trade Ray Allen at a whim, but it's wrong for him when he's a free agent to exercise his right to play for another team. That's what Oscar Robertson and the NBA players fought for, free agency. So I just thought it was so stupid. But anyway, after years of traveling and continual moving, his family settled in Dalzell, South Carolina, where Ray would attend high school. And by the age of 15, he was playing for Hillcrest High School's varsity team and would eventually lead them to their first state championship game. In that game, Ray Allen showed his NBA potential by posting an impressive 25 points to go along with 12 rebounds in a blowout victory for his team, the Hillcrest Wildcats. And after the resulting attention from colleges, especially from the University of Kentucky, Allen ultimately accepted an offer from the University of Connecticut. Allen attended the University of Connecticut from 1993 to 1996 after being recruited by assistant coach Carl Hobbs. While at UConn, he was named USA Men's Basketball Player of the Year in 1995. In 95-96, his final collegiate year, Allen was a first-team All-American and won the Big East Player of the Year award. Allen finished his UConn career third on the Huskies' career scoring list with 1,922 points and set a single-season school record by connecting on 115 three-pointers in 1995-1996. During the 1996 NBA draft, Allen was drafted by the Timberwolves with the 5th pick. Immediately after his selection, Allen and Andrew Lang were traded to the Bucks for the rights to 4th pick Stephon Marbury. On July 24th of 1996, Allen signed a 3-year, $6.2 million contract with the Bucks, and he made his debut on November 1st, 1996, where he played against Allen Iverson and the Philadelphia 76ers. Allen would go on and become a star eventually with the Milwaukee Bucks. I think their best team was the 2001 Bucks. That team had Ray Allen, Glenn Big Dog Robinson, Sam Cassell, Tim Thomas, Joe Prisbilla. I believe Darvin Ham was on that team. There was a lot of other guys. I think Scott Williams might have been on that team. Was Rick Mahorn on that team? I know that team had a lot of... it was either Rick Mahorn or Jerome Kersey. But anyway, that team was loaded. That team was great. They could score. And whenever Tim Thomas had it going, they were nearly unbeatable. They made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, ultimately losing to the Sixers. There are many people that will tell you, especially Bucks fans, that will tell you that they think that series was rigged. And there were some questionable calls in that series, especially in Game 6. Ultimately, if I remember correctly, George Karl who was the head coach, had a hard on for Gary Payton. He broke that team up, got Gary Payton. Gary Payton was not going to stay in Milwaukee. I think he left after a half a season or something like that, and then went to Boston, and then ultimately he went ring chasing, and then won a ring with Miami. But George Karl broke that team. I thought it was a stupid hire for the Bucks to get him. But anyway, Ray Allen, I think, was traded. Was he traded to the Sonics? Yeah, he was traded to the Sonics midway through the 2002-03 season. And he put up probably his best individual numbers with the Seattle Supersonics, his best individual numbers. With the Sonics, he played 5 seasons, and during that time period, he averaged 24.6 points, 4.6 rebounds, 4.2 assists, 1.3 steals, shot 44% from the floor during that time period, and 38.6% from beyond the arc, and 89.9% from the free throw line. I think it was the 2005-06 season. I think it was that season. I may be wrong, but I think it was 2005-06 season, or maybe 6-7, one of the two. It was a game against Utah when Ray Allen dropped 54 points, his career high. I just remember that game. I was watching that game, and Ray Allen just went nuts in that particular ball game. 2007, off season, going into 2007-2008, that's when it all came together for Ray Allen, and in particular for Boston Celtics fans. Paul Pierce and the Celtics were coming off an abysmal season. I think they went something like 26-56. They had a horrible season. In the off season, they acquire in a trade Kevin Garnett. And I believe they signed Ray Allen as a free agent. And this formed a big three. Now, contrary to popular opinion, Danny Ainge did not put this team together to contend with LeBron James. This was Shannon Sharpe puts out there. That's a lie. Danny Ainge put that team together for a couple of reasons. Number one, Danny Ainge had a lot of pressure to build a winning organization. At the time, Boston had not won a championship. Remember, Boston was one of the most storied franchises. They had, in the history of the NBA. In sports, they hadn't won a championship at that time in over 20 years. Also, he was thinking about the Pistons, but especially, if you remember that time period, the Lakers had acquired Pau Gasol. The Lakers were making moves finally to try to build a team, a championship team around Kobe Bryant. So Danny Ainge felt pressure to do something, and he pulled off, which to me, even though I can't stand Danny Ainge, that was his masterstroke. They went on and won They went on to win 66 games during the 2007-08 season, although they nearly blew it during the postseason by going 7 games with the Hawks and then the Cavaliers in the semis. But ultimately, they won a championship. Now, against the Lakers in 6 in the finals. Now, I've never seen a championship team make so much out of their one goddamn ring, but they did win that ring. So next couple of years, Ray Allen plays in plays in Boston. I believe it's after the 2011-12 season that in free agency he signs with Miami. Garnett, Pearson, Rondo, that cursed the day that they played with Allen after that. And then, of course, he plays with LeBron James and Miami Heat, which takes me to one of the biggest moments in Ray Allen's history. One of the biggest moments. Game 6 of the 2013 NBA Finals against the Spurs. The Heat trailed by 3 points. LeBron James tries to make a three, he misses. And if I recall, I think it was Chris Bosh, someone can correct me, who tipped it to Allen. And Allen buried a game-tying three-pointer with 5.2 seconds left on the clock in overtime. In the forced overtime. And they had rallied from a 10-point deficit from the end of the third quarter. And ultimately, they were able to force a Game 7, and they won 95-88 to win their second consecutive NBA championship. But it wasn't for Ray Allen making that shot, LeBron would be 3-7 in the finals instead of 4-6. That was one of the biggest shots in the history of playoffs. And that's what Ray Allen did, hit big shots, man. He was just one of the best clutch performers, not just from a statistical standpoint of shooting from a great percentage, but just clutch threes, making them when they count. Ray would play one more year in the NBA, then retired after the 2013-14 season. And since then, he's largely been out of the limelight. You know, I think it might have been 2021 during the spring, he suffered what could have been a fatal bicycle accident had he not had his helmet on. Around that time period, we lost Mark Eaton because of the same reasons, a bicycle accident. I don't think he had a helmet, so the helmet saved Ray Allen's life. But last time I think I saw Ray Allen was when Steph Curry broke his record in Madison Square Garden. But anyway, Ray Allen, one of the great players in the history of the NBA, one of the great shooters. I got him at number 11. Tell me what you guys think.